saying, how did I get myself in this situation? I didn't do anything wrong. I worked all my life, and then I found myself without a job, and after that, I found myself with no source of income, and I had to apply for public assistance. Growing up in Harlem was an experience. It was a community that Southern families came from the South, came to New York looking for a better way of life. It was a loving community. The adults looked out for the children. It was nothing to be ashamed if you didn't have any food. If you didn't have any food, your neighbor knew, your neighbor would cook enough and tell you, bring your family over, they shared. You didn't have to go to the government to get help. People in the community supported one another. All that changed when I became an adult.
Come here, man.
I started working at the telephone company when I was 19 years old. I worked there up until 1984, and I worked as a telemarketer at Thompson Financial. Then 9/11 happened. It was a horrifying experience. I had to apply for public assistance. I'm at the mercy of these people. I have no control, and that's a horrible feeling to feel. You worked all your life. I was told, oh, work, you get your pension, you know, the American dream. And here I was at the welfare center trying to get my rent paid. And they told me I had to go to some training school. I said, all you have to do is give me a job. I have the experience. When I was applying that day, I was sitting there and I saw this woman. She was talking to the clients there, and I was saying, I hope she don't bother me. This person was a community organizer that worked at Families United for Racial and Economic Equality, which is called FURY. And she invited me to a membership meeting. I don't know why. I put the paper in my mirror, and I said, oh, I'm gonna go. So what I liked about her, she kept calling. She said, hi, how are you? I met you at the welfare center. I just wanted to know, remind you about the membership meeting. Are you coming? Yes. So she kept being persistent. I said, I'm coming.
FURY's mission is to change the system. We've been working primarily with people that are on public assistance to really move them from welfare to work. Our goal is to move them in a way that they're not just taken off the welfare rolls and pushed to the side, which is what the city does, but we want to have people move from welfare into work positions where it can build to a career and a future for them and for their children.
That's when you're messing up too? Okay, when you cross over, you come, let me show you.
When I walked in those doors, I sat there, I didn't know what to expect.
It's really helpful once you really try and get into it, but for some others it might become more easy for you to get into.
The women at FURY that was on public assistance, telling their stories was no more different from mine. At the meeting, they were asking volunteers to be able to deliver an invitation to Mayor Bloomberg to come to their first convention. So I said, oh, I will go. I didn't know that they were going to ask me to be the MC. I never did that before. I'm like, what? And me, yes, I'll do it, because they didn't have anybody else. But then when I walked in and I saw all those cameras, I was like, oh my God, what did I do to myself? I don't know what to do. My name is Wanda Evangelist, and I am one of your MCs for today. I am the Vice President of the Board of Directors of Families United for Racial and Economic Equality. When I came to FURY, they asked the question, if I had a magic wand, what would I change? I said, I would make the people at the welfare center respect me. Now I'm fighting for that respect. I am the master of ceremonies. That was like such a rush, but it was like, even though your rent not paid, even though you're on welfare, you can still do something about your situation. You don't have to sit in the mess.
Everywhere we go, people wanna know. People wanna know who we are. So we tell them. We are Fury. We are Fury. The mighty, mighty Fury. The mighty, mighty Fury. Sound off. 1, 2. Sound off. 3, 4. Bring it on down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Fury.
I got involved with Fury by accident and aggravation, I call it. Wanda Imansu had been doing door knocking that day, and nobody in here answered the door. So Wanda waited for us outside. I really didn't want to be bothered because I had been sick and had been in a wheelchair now going on for about 2 years. I was going through a lot of personal stuff. I didn't have a place to go. And Wanda was persistent, you know, and she was like on top of me. And it was like, why does this lady go away? Why does this lady see that I'm a cripple and I'm incapable of doing anything else but being in this chair and trying to make it from today to tomorrow? She's not looking at that. She's just trying to get me to come. I just went just to see what it was about. I didn't see it then as a blessing, you know, to lead me on to being where I am today. From that, I think I learned and discovered, oh, I could talk.
So on the 9th,
I could think again.
I know it's kind of hard. It's going to be at 6 o'clock, but we'll be here till 9 o'clock. There's many of your parents to come down with you, and I'll talk to parents.
Now I'm the co-chair to the board at Fury. Very involved in the child care campaign. It's grown from 4 people in a room to now over 200 members in that particular campaign. So.
Our children need to be in a safe learning environment, and I'm here to support the child care workers of New York City.
That's right.
For them to get paid fairly for taking care of our future, future politics. Yeah.
I wasn't able to be a part of the civil rights movement during the 60s. I feel that I know that I was given an opportunity to right that wrong.
See this right here? We have these sessions. We call it the fire session. It's an educational process. What it does is tell you about the electoral process.
Fury let me know that I was not a part of the problem. I could definitely be part of the solution. Now I can help thousands.
Now I have a voice because just one person speaking is like a voice in the wilderness, but when you get collectively and people unite, it's like a mighty lion roaring.